And it's time for another unboxing video. I have been given this box of comic books to go through and grade for sale on eBay, but I've got really no idea at all what is in this box. And well, that makes it fun for me. I just like going through these boxes and seeing things for the first time. Maybe, as long as I've been collecting comic books, I get to hold a book that I've never seen in the wild before. And it's just, again, just that thrill of discovery that I remember from when I was 8 or 9 years old and going to the newsstand and seeing just this amazing wash of different kinds of comic books. You never know what's in one of these boxes. Could be all superhero, could be funny animal or westerns, could be stuff from the 50s, the 80s, the 90s. You never know. So if you like old comic books, if you'd like just gabbing about them, talking about them, looking at them, I'll stick around. This is the video for you. I think we're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghala. My name is Duke, and this is another unboxing video. So I said I had no idea what is in this box. Well, I've got a little bit of an idea. I am grading these books for sale on eBay. The username .com comics. And what ends up on my desk, these books, these are all the things that are going to be sold as raw singles. It's my job to grade those books. Basically, every book that we're going to look at, we kind of expect to sell for between $10 and $100 on eBay. And the other thing, these first few books we're going to look at, these are books we've already listed, apparently, from these labels. And I would say these are books that either didn't get a bid or else the buyer reneged and never paid for them. Maybe in a few rare instances, it's something that was sent back for some reason. So I guess, as we go through this kind of first stack or so, you might want to ask yourself, well, is that something that you would not have bid on? Is it something you wouldn't have paid for? So, a Black Orchid, that's been a big book for a long, long time. And I don't know why, because the character herself never really took off to any big degree. But this 3-issue run in Adventure Comics, her first appearance, that's been kind of a big book. Maybe they decided they didn't want it because it has this number written on it, but that would have been very clear in the original scan. Amazing Spider-Man 64. 126 is I think that's the Death of the Kangaroo. And so the reason these come back to me is just to give the grade, a once over again, because, the first round, after I graded it, it goes to somebody who does the listing on eBay. Then they go in bins where they sit until they are sold and are shipped out. Maybe in all that handling, maybe it picks up a little damage. The singles are bagged and boarded. When we do lots, those don't get individual bags and boards. But you never know. And then just to look through the book again, maybe just make sure there's nothing that I missed. No panels missing or value stamps cut or anything like that. So 193, I believe that's the first appearance of the Human Fly. The villainous Human Fly, not the very cool stuntman turned superhero. There's 289, some Hobgoblin. 309, McFarlane. 315. Here's some Venom action. Is that the... See, now I wasn't buying Spider-Man at this point, and I'm not real hip to all of the Venom stuff. I never got into Venom because, the grim and gritty characters, but I think that covers something. You'll have to leave a comment below and tell me, is this the first Venom cover? There's something special about this book, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. It was graded as a very fine, so I'm not sure why somebody didn't want it, didn't pay for it. Certainly must have got a bid. This one, 365. Brave and the Bold. Batman and the Flash. Brave and the Bold, 73. And you may be thinking, wow, you've got a lot of books there that went unsold, that didn't get paid for, that maybe got returned. Well, these have probably been piling up for a little while, and you got to figure too. We list for .com comics. We list between 100 and 200 books every single day. Singles and lots. And that's not counting the big books that go to CGC and are auctioned off on Comic Link. So, you know, that's just when you do that volume of business, that's the kind of stuff that's going to happen. There's a Neil Adams Brave and the Bold, Dead Man, The Creeper, number 80, 81. So I can't believe any of these books did not get a bid. They must have been things that people just, you know, didn't pay for. There's a Detective Comics 370, 5.0. Fantastic Four 42. Now that one's only a 2.0. Flash 156, 4.5. Yeah, and probably most likely, you know, I'll just go through these quickly and you know, I'll end up confirming the same grade. But, you know, it might change the grade. Again, it might have picked up a little extra damage in handling, possibly. You never know. And again, just to make sure I didn't miss anything the first time around. That one actually, Mystery in Space 95, it says 4.0. It looks a little better than a 4.0. Of course, they always look better in the bag, don't they? That's the first U.S. appearance of Psylocke. New Mutants Annual number 2, 8.5. Here is, I believe this book, Spectacular Spider-Man 90, tied for second appearance of the black Spider-Man costume. Here's a Rawhide Kid. Now, Rawhide Kid doesn't do all that well for us, and it's a lowish grade, 4.5. So that's a book that I could believe that, you know, just didn't get a bid. So what I'll have to do as I'm going through these, you know, one other thing I might do is as I'm looking at some of these books, I might decide, well, I'll put it in a lot. You know, some of these Rawhide Kids, maybe here's some more. Maybe I'll decide that it should go in a lot of some kind. Maybe they just would do better that way. So would you want a Rawhide Kid number 50 and 5.0? I would, if the price is right, but I got a feeling these Rawhide Kids I might end up putting in lots rather than, you know, regrading them as singles. Because I suspect if there's anything that we've looked at so far that, you know, is here because it didn't get a bid, it would be these books. 59. Mostly Dick Ayers did the art in these, and it's, you know, it's okay. It's not great. Now here's a fun book. It's only a 4.5, so maybe it didn't get a bid, but Spidey Super Stories based on the Electric Company. There's Easy Reader, Morgan Freeman, right there. Strange Adventures, 148. I love these old sci-fi DCs. You know, you got like 3 stories to an issue, and some of them are pretty clever. You know, occasionally you get some that are kind of lame, but I mean, almost any one of them could have been turned into an ongoing series, just about, as, you know, certainly Animal Man was. That's kind of a cool cover. And I apologize, these labels are right over here, you know, kind of blocking the cover. There's a Neil Adams cover. Superman 171, that was originally graded as a 4.5. 172, that's got a Legion of Superheroes appearance in it. If that's your thing, the Legion is my thing. Gotta love the go-go checks, right? 188. 190, not sure, it's cut off. Oh, right here, 190. 194. These are all good books. These are all good books. Probably the same person bid on all the Supermans and decided they paid too much and then just disappeared. You know, spent too much as far as, you know, either they bid too much or they just bought too much, bid on too many things. And what we have here basically is a pile of somebody's wife said no. World's Finest Comics. I'm not sure if that's the one where Batman joins the Legion. That's cool. Batman riding the Batwing. I don't know who's flying it, but House of Mystery. All right, so that's the end. I can see here, looking in the box, that is the end of the unsold books. Now we're getting into some stuff that's going to be, some of this will be in bag and board, some of it isn't. Kind of depends on how the collection came in. Defenders number 7. Defenders number 8. What did you think of the Defenders? Were you around when it was a thing in the 70s and 80s? It always had a weird lineup. The quote-unquote non-team. Hawkeye was actually a member for a short time. So you had Silver Surfer and Hawkeye on the same team. And there's number 12. 6. 5. We're probably not going to have. We do have 4. So that's the first kind of official appearance of Valkyrie. She appeared earlier in an issue of Avengers. I forget the issue numbers. It's the one with the Lady Liberators on the cover. And but that was the Enchantress in disguise as Valkyrie. So this is the first appearance of the actual Valkyrie. So that's a good book. That's a big book. Looks different than she does in the movies. You probably knew that. All right, what else have we got here? Looks like this is going to be an all superhero box, doesn't it? Batman versus Eclipso. Oh, wow. So Beverly Hills, like I said, you never know what we've got here. And that's number 20. I was hoping it would be number 1. That art is pretty good. That doesn't look much like Buddy Ebsen, though. Granny doesn't look much like Granny. And Jethro doesn't look much like Jethro. It's still pretty good art, though. I'll have to look up online and see who actually did the art, because it's not listed, obviously. Ellie Mae doesn't look much like Ellie Mae either. But that's cool. That is cool just for the photo cover. That'll get a lot of bids online, because you will have people bidding on that, who aren't just comic book fans, but who are old, television fans. And of course, you fold that back the way it's supposed to be. And it's a pretty presentable copy. That would make a nice something hung on a wall. Aquaman, that's a cool cover. Powwow Smith, starring in, that's a first issue, All-Star Western number 1. The late 60s, 70s version. Some more World's Finest. The Super Sons. I did love me the Super Sons when I was a kid. Although I came along a little after this. That's a sexist cover, maybe. I don't know. That's a kind of a strange face for Superman. Oh, cool. Archie is Pure Heart the Powerful, number 1. Cool. I'm actually going to put this over here because I've got a little. I also do grading videos, as you know if you've seen this channel before, and I'm actually working on a stack of number 1, kind of oddball number 1s for a grading video. Twilight Zone. Wild Wild West. I don't remember ever seeing this show as a kid. It's number 3. Some Green Lanterns. 75, I think. Statement of ownership and circulation. Green Lantern was selling at this point about 160,000 copies a month. So only about 4 or 5 times what it sells now. The new Captain Marvel with the Negamans. Trading places with Rick, everybody's sidekick. Captain Marvel again. And I mean, that is an infinitely superior costume to the old Finhead Saturn Girl thing. Pogo. Look at that. Some Walt Kelly Pogo. Number 11. What year is this? I want to be a little careful opening it. 1953. Look at that. You tell me you don't want that in your collection. That's pretty cool. Korak, number 46, because it is the first DC issue. Why is it a first issue and a 46? Because back during this time frame, first issues were not the be-all and end-all that they are today. The conventional wisdom that something that had a number 1 on it, retailers wouldn't put it out, distributors wouldn't distribute it because they were afraid that it wouldn't sell. It wasn't proven. It didn't have a track record. So when DC took over the license for Korak, rather than slapping a number 1 on it, they continued the numbering from the Gold Key series, and they just put first DC issue here. And so being a 46, retailers and distributors would be like, oh, that's a tried and tested product. That's probably going to sell. We'll go ahead and put that on the stands. Kona, Monarch of Monster Isle. I want to take this out and see what issue number it is. I don't know why. That just has a very first issue, number 7. Why is there a card in here? You find all kinds of weird things in comic books. I've found kids' homework in comic books and book reports. Find that a lot in Classics Illustrated. You'll find notes for somebody's book report. So I don't know what that card is. It just has a number 191 written on it. See what else we've got here. Marvel Classic Comics. You probably are familiar with the Classics Illustrated series, but in the 70s, Marvel had its own line of classic comics. And that's kind of weird. That's not even really in, traditional comics format. Iron Man 125. What is this? This is the first something. Is that the first Rhodey? Jim Rhodes? It's not the first Ant-Man, but it would have been not long after his first appearance. There's a world's finest comic. You certainly got your money's worth for a buck. Detective Comics, number 496. Shanna the She-Devil. I think these are reprints. Was this series reprints or new? No, maybe it was new. Ross Andru and Vince Colletta on the art. Number 3. Number 2. There's number 1. Look at that. Now, when is that? That is 1972. There's a Doc Savage number 1. Marvel decided the Man of Bronze would be literally bronze. This looks like Gil Kane art. Ross Andru and Tom Palmer. Well, the cover looks like Gil Kane. 6. Devil Dinosaur, number 5. Number 2. 2 number 2s. Second Sense Shattering issue. Number 3. I don't think we're going to get a number 1 there, gang. 4. I might do these as a lot because other than number 1, this series doesn't sell super well unless they're super high grade, and these are looking kind of 7-ish. I've got to sit down and do the actual grading, but these are all looking 7, 7.5, maybe a 6.5 here and there. We got a near complete run though. Sergeant Fury, number 29. What year is that? That's not a bad condition. 66. There's another Rawhide Kid, 48. Probably add that to the other ones that I'm probably going to put in lots. 51. Reagan Lois Lane. Isn't he cute? You bent that lamp into an engagement ring for me. Aren't you jealous, Superman? Yeah, it's funny. Kurt Schaffenberger. I love his art now. As a kid, I found it kind of cold and sterile. But that was also in the 70s, too, when he was a little past his prime. Kind of working on muscle memory in a lot of ways. Another stack here, some mid-70s Fantastic Four. 158. Oops, upside down. Our Army at War, 165. Some Joe Kubert action. Metamorpho. What issue number? 4. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. What did Uncle stand for? Do you know? I'll look that up. This is number 20. Some more Western. Kid Colt. The Outlaw Kid. The Ringo Kid. He didn't live long as a gunfighter. He never had the Ringo senior citizen. Feels like there's a couple of books in this bag. There's 17, Creatures on the Loose, and 16, and 18, and 19. Here is 20, just 20. Ooh, look at that. Combat Kelly number 1. All new origin issue. Now, what branch of the military was Combat Kelly? I think he was a Marine, right? Sergeant Fury was Army, and I think Combat Kelly was Marines. This looks like it's going to be our last stack. Our last stack. Have you seen anything so far that's jumped out at you? Ooh, 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 ooh. Well, this is cool. It's cool to me anyway. The old Gold Key Star Trek series, and it's a Whitman variant. Now, when I was a kid, and into my 20s and 30s even, Whitmans were considered kind of the bastard stepchild. Nobody wanted the Whitman. And I like the Star Trek series now. When I was a kid, this series was kind of at the end of the run, and I didn't like it because, the art wasn't that dynamic. Kirk's not really leaning into that punch. And the square word balloons just always, I don't know. They just made everything look kind of cold and sterile. So even though I love Star Trek, I never went in for the Star Trek comic book as a kid. Later on, I wouldn't, just because, you read a Star Trek comic and everything you read gets invalidated by the next movie. And it feels like everything, was just pointless. But, what was I saying? Oh, got myself sidetracked. So the Whitmans, they were considered kind of the bastard stepchild because the Gold Key books were on the stands. The Whitmans were sold in department stores, usually in like 3-packs. So, you didn't want a Whitman just because, the logo also looked dumb compared to the Gold Key logo. But these days, because the Whitmans are kind of rarer, rarer, people tend to want the Whitmans. So it's just kind of gone a complete reversal. There's number 2 and 3 of Combat Kelly. 4 and 5. How long did this series go? I might sell these as a lot if we've got the whole run. Rather than selling them as singles, they might bring a better price as a full complete lot. So we've got 9. I'll have to check and see how long that series ran. These are all upside down. I can tell by the back cover. I bet I know what they are. There they are. Boom. See, now, don't you agree? The Gold Key logo, it just looks better than the Whitman logo. Be that as it may. 25 center, so that would have been early. That's probably around issue 20, 30, 31. Haha, wicked smart. 30 center, so that's probably going to be around 76, 77. It is 77. Not great condition, but might still be worth doing as a single. Gold Key. They had some kind of weird painted covers because, they all looked kind of stiff as well, That is 32. This one will be earlier. This is probably 20-something. 26. 49. Dagar the Invincible. Huh. Tales of Sword and Sorcery. 17. I might put that in the lot because I don't think that's going to draw at least $10. Mighty Samson. I don't think Mighty Samson is going to bring at least 10 bucks. That's number 30. I got a little pile over here for books I'm segregating out into lots. I haven't segregated those Ringo Kids yet, but that pile over there is where they'll go. Trag and the Sky Gods. A little cave girl's hut, isn't she? Redhead, so this must have taken place in primordial Scotland, although you wouldn't have had humans and dinosaurs at the same time, right? Would you? That's number 3. Nothing wrong with that. Oh my God. The Cat from Outer Space and the Shaggy Dog. Dogs and cats together in one book. It's madness. 60 cents, so that's going to be almost into the 80s. 78. Well, probably because it's a giant size. It's pretty thick. So yeah. So there's actually Disney Showcase 46. I'll probably do that as a single. It's not super high grade. You can see some stuff going on here, but these Lost in Spaces are, that's number 54, 77. I'll probably, it's got a rip there. Probably do that in a lot as well. Brothers of the Spear, a 20 center. It's number 9. I really don't. What do you think? Brothers of the Spear, you think these issues would bring at least 10 bucks? Or not? Should I do them in a lot? Do 3 or 4 in a lot that would bring at least that much? Number 16. This one's in pretty nice shape. Number 15. And the last book. Brothers of the Spear. Number 17. So that's it. That's that box. I hope you had fun looking through those books with me. I'm going to grade all of these up. If there's anything in here you are particularly itching to see me grade, see what grade I do give it, drop a comment below or reach out to me on the Twitter at Shanghaler or at DuragoDuke, and I'd be happy to make sure I put one of those books on an actual grading video for you. But until the next video, good night, good luck, and please be good to each other.